It's a good time. I feel like the last year was kind of a blur. Like, if I'm thinking back, and even how we did media, I think it was like we were in that little room over there, just kind of staring at like a laptop back at yourself. So it's nice to like be with people again, like actually talk and interact, not just through a screen.
Last season was kind of interesting, to say the least. Just the way it started and then everything that happened in the middle, but the season ended with a couple wins at the end there. Where is the truth in last season? Was it, it started, got hung up in the middle, and then hit a little bit at the end, or is there momentum that you can take away, or is it at the same time like weird COVID season? Let's just put that to bed and move on from it.
We gotta carry that mindset with, regardless of COVID, of just every season's a new season. So, to a little bit, because I think it showed last year showed how much fight our team has and how much perseverance we have. So I think that definitely carried over. But with this season, we have a lot of new players and a lot of different faces and like budding chemistry. So I think yes, there's a little carryover in that sense, but it's definitely going to be a new season, different team that we're really excited to see this year.
Marnelle, how's the chemistry with the team so far that you guys seen?
It's growing every day. It's crazy. We have so many different players. It's like a good mix of old and new. We have 5 seniors, our senior core, and then we have 5 freshmen as well. So it's a good mix of old and new, and like with our juniors and sophomores in the middle. But every day it's something different. But we have fun being with each other. So it's really fun.
Kind of putting together that roster, bringing people in. I know Dontavia's in from NC State too. So when you put together this roster, how has it changed? Is there any change, or is it just, is there a little bit of new roles, same roles, developing roles? How does that kind of come together?
I think the biggest thing right now is just seeing what everybody's strengths are. And with Dontavia, it's great because we've always been a team that likes to get out in the fast break, be fast, athletic, whatever it may be, and she fits perfectly into that. We really pride ourselves on defense. We have a great defender over here, and so she's been a great addition to that. So I think we've always had the goal to be athletic, be strong, and to be that in the ACC. And so I think with new additions like Dontavia, freshmen like Andrea Daly, I think we're really going to impress the ACC with how fast we're going to be.
The guys players we're talking to about actually having a summer session this time around because COVID kind of took that away. How important was that for you guys in terms of bonding? You got new faces, just being able to reset and get together as a team.
I think it was something we missed dearly last year, just because, especially when we're first getting our team chemistry and started working on our plays and figuring out how to play together, we missed that early last year, so we had to do that kind of in a quick sprint before the season started in our preseason. But having the summer one, us living together, we all lived in 3 rooms all together, and then we were right down the hall from each other, so we were seeing each other every day, learning how to joke around, be with each other, just be around each other, have chemistry. So that was amazing for that, and we had so much fun over the summer, especially since our last summer as well. So I was really glad that we could have it. But then also on the court, we were able to get through kinks, really work on player development. Was something that's kind of this summer is a big time to do that. Just get your shots in, work on your weaknesses, stuff like that. So I think that really carried over to now, because now people are at their peak of where they are player development individually wise, and then now we're adding that into a team setting. So I think it really helps, and we definitely missed it.
You guys had some really young players contributing last year. I mean, would have been seniors in high school in a normal year. What does it mean for them to have another year, just to be actually freshmen in college, and to have some experience already with them at such a young age?
I think the biggest thing, for us now being seniors and trying to look back on what it was like to be a freshman, now they're even younger than we were. I think it's just constantly reminding them to have confidence and that they've been here, and even if it was just for a short period of time, that they're here for a reason, and they've had a couple of games underneath their belt, but they're still young, and so just trying to give them that confidence that they're going to make mistakes, but we're going to be there to pick them up and just to fight back. And so I think it's really great to have 2 people, Tim and Paul, on the team to kind of help out the other freshmen and kind of show them the way. But they're still learning, and so it'll be interesting to see how they play this year, but I'm excited to see them.
What's the identity of this team? What do you guys think the identity of this team is going to be this season?
The identity of our team?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think offensively we're a sharpshooting we're a sharpshooting team that likes to run fast in transition. I think we had a couple of scrimmages, and that's what I see as being one of our highlights and peaks. And then in terms of defense, we have, like Soule was saying earlier, we have different players that are fast and athletic. So I think on the defense, those people are going to shine, either because we have multiple people that can stop the ball or pick up full court and last that long in a game. So I think having that rotation defensively is going to be crucial for us. Just as the game goes on and wear and tear, like having people that can come in and have that spark on the bench defensively, I think is also going to be really big for us.
Year 3 or year 4, I think, in Coach Mack's system. How has the system changed? Has it changed at all, or is it still the same system from year 1 since you've all grown in the system as well?
I think the system itself has stayed pretty similar. I think since she's been here, like a word that comes to mind is gritty. She grinded that into our heads as soon as we got here. We were going to be dogs on the offensive or defensive end. I think how she's gone about coaching has changed a little bit, and especially now being seniors, maybe how she's looking at us and her expectations for us have changed maybe just a little bit, but I think expectations are still the same to win an ACC championship, make it to March Madness, do the things that the nation doesn't expect us to do, and we know her expectations, and so now it's just our job to pass that down to the underclassmen and get everybody on board.
And then to add to that, also, the system is stayed the same, but then you have people like Soule who's become one of the best forwards in the country. And so, like, obviously, like, our system's changed a little bit because she's she's dominating. So, like, okay, we're not talking about that. But things like that, like, as our player development has grown so much and people have gotten better at their crafts and, like, have risen to be good at certain things, like, obviously we want to showcase that as well. So.
Taylor, you mentioned making March Madness, and I know this is a new team and new faces here, but you guys were both on that team as well as several other players here 2 years ago where you guys got oh so close. I won't mention it again, but is it important to have that experience of knowing, okay, we can do this, we can win in this league, and we're not that far away from doing it again?
Yeah, I think it's, when we think about it, I kind of become speechless because we were so close, and we were so close to that fairy tale ending. And like Marnelle said, we have that core group of 5 seniors who know what it's like, what it takes to get there, and so I think we have an unbelievably talented team with great coaches that really all want the same thing, and so I think the most important thing for us is just getting everyone on board with, we're going to make mistakes, but in the ACC you got to kind of capitalize on the mistakes the other team makes, and so if we can make less than the other team, I think we're going to be really good and make that tournament, which we really want.
I asked Brevin what he thought of Ice Jam, and he said it was fun. What did you guys like it? What do you think?
I thought it was really fun. I love that BC added that back after 10 years of not doing it. Hopefully, like as the years goes, it grows in terms of like what we do and like fan interactions. But I think it was great, like having people on campus be able to actually like meet us before the season starts and like come support us. Like I felt that support like being there, so I loved it.
Yeah, and I think my favorite part was definitely the dancing. That was really cool. I think my favorite thing was definitely getting to perform, but just like our time, even if it was a little short, like hanging out with the men's team, I think a lot of time, like just because we are the men's and women's basketball teams, we don't get to really interact too much just because our schedules are really back-to-back, and then like for games, like if we're home, they're away, and so I think to have that little like couple weeks to actually like be with them and like talk and just like hang out, even if it's like an hour like during the week, I think that was really nice. And so for the whole school to kind of show up and try to support us, I think it was really cool. And so I'm excited to see the fan support that we have in both programs this year. But Ice Jam was a good time. I'm excited to see where it goes the next couple of years.
So last year, Damara just mentioned that like they realized it was not a typical year when he ran out of Duke and there was no one there. For you, what was kind of that point last year when you ran out and you're like, all right, this is not normal, this is not what we're used to, and what's the thing that you remember or look forward to getting back that you had 2 years ago when you were playing in front of crowds?
I think one thing I realized that was not normal is when maybe it was our first game or before our first game, they were testing the noise that they wanted to put in the crowd because there was nobody there, but like dead silence I guess was too much. And so they had like crowd noises, like pre-made crowd noises, and they were testing the levels of that. And that was weird to me. I was like, there's no way. Like there's no way we're actually gonna do this. And I don't remember if they actually did it, but it was just such a weird concept to me if they actually did. But speaking of Duke, I remember the first time I played at Duke, I think it was our sophomore year. Maybe we lost maybe like 3 or something like that, something small, or maybe we won, I forget. Okay. But like I remember just being like, I didn't even know what was happening. Like I was like literally in like a fever dream because it was actually wild. Like the crazies, I remember at a timeout, I couldn't even focus on Coach Mack this one timeout because the crazies were on the court and the mascot was on top of like 10 of their backs surfing on a surfboard while they were like being the waves, and I was like, I couldn't focus. And so like that type of crowd environment, I can't wait to get back to that. But that was one of my crazy crowd memories that I'll definitely
I think the whole thing was just weird. Like, I think we went down to like Miami, and even down south, like I know like Louisville, they had a bunch of fans, but even in places where you knew there should have been like sold out crowds and it was just silence, and then trying to like somehow explain to the underclassmen that like this wasn't actually normal, because like to them it's like all they know. Like they go to Louisville and they see a bunch of people and they think it's a lot of people, but it's like 25% of like the actual fan base that's going to be there this year. And so I think like even now trying to explain to them like with small things like repeating the plays, they're like, I feel like in their heads they're like, oh, like how many people are really going to be at the games? But when you go to like Notre Dame, when you go to Florida State, when you go to Louisville, like you really can't hear anything. And so I think it'll be an interesting adjustment period even for like Tim and Paul who have like been here to kind of get that reality check of what the ACC is like. And I'm excited to fill up Conti. I'm excited for the kids' school there, whatever it is, to have all of them here.